If you are American, you may have never heard of a royal warrant. And even a lot of people in the UK have not heard of this. For hundreds of years, the royal family in England and now the UK have granted their seal of approval to various companies across all industries that meet certain standards. And it will usually be a standard of a product or a service that is luxury or at least super high quality, and then that the company operates with integrity and that their business model is sustainable. Hundreds of companies are on this list for excellent products. Aspinall is one of my favorite brands. I can't usually afford a ton of stuff from them, but when I do buy a hand painted silk scarf or, a leather wallet, I like it to be from Aspinall, who has the royal warrant, the approval of um, the Queen, and now the King of England. And also, these companies do tend to be purveyors to the King or Queen. Another example would be Burberry. I'm sure we're all familiar with the luxurious, high-quality Burberry coats. They cost an arm and a leg. They really are great, but they're able to charge an additional premium above and beyond what might be customary for their garments because they do have the royal warrant. They have the king or queen's seal of approval that this is a great product, and you can see the royals and the nobles using their product. So, how does this affect you as an American and as a shopper of food items? Well, food items also get on the list, like Fortnum and Mason as a grocery store, excellent, obviously, grocery store. Cadbury is a company that has been on the list for, I want to say, 150 years. They are the British chocolatier, and they were known up until very recently for super high quality, delicious chocolate. Well, if you've tried any Cadbury chocolate since, I don't know, early 2000s, you have noticed a gradual dip in the taste of their chocolate products. They've also recently been purchased by a much larger company called Mondelez. Now, we all saw the writing on the wall if we knew about this merger, this acquisition of Mondelez. As I said in my other shrinkflation video, when companies are publicly traded, they don't simply have the option anymore to simply remain profitable. It's not even enough to remain profitable at the same rate. The line has to keep going up for shareholders to be satisfied. Otherwise, the people who run the company know that they will be fired. And so this system simply lends itself so well to unethical and just poor business practices. And some might say it's inherent in the system. Now, Cadbury quality, like I said, it's been going down for decades. So where does Mondelez have to go? They can only further cut quality. And as you may know, cacao, which is the root product of chocolate, has grown in price exponentially over the past 6 months. So how will they continue to squeeze more profits out of this? Quality has to go down. And I'm really glad to hear that King Charles, I'm not a monarchist, I'm a Republican, but I'm really glad to know, and by the way, for any American who hears this, Republican as opposed to not monarchist, not Republican versus Democrat like in the US. Okay. But I'm really glad to hear that King Charles made this change because it's no longer a good quality product. And ultimately, this is a decision by Mondelez to make short-term gains in their profits to save their behinds today, but they're sacrificing the company for tomorrow. And that's, again, another inherent part of the publicly traded, shareholder-controlled company. Now that they have lost the purveyor to the king status, it's a huge blemish on their name. It's been in the news in the UK for the past 2 days, nonstop. Now, they're not the only company to have lost the king's endorsement, I should say. There were a few others, but very few of them were quintessentially British companies. They were usually like French purveyors of alcohol or something like that. Cadbury is uniquely British. And so for them to lose that stamp of approval is really bad. And it also means that they now lose that credibility, that prestige that comes along with having that coat of arms that you can legally place on your chocolate or your chocolate wrapper or whatever is, your labeling of your product, your packaging, that shows you have the royal family's seal of approval. So definitely short term, very short sighted. Their prices will need to fall at the same time that their shareholders are hoping that their values will go up. And it's just not possible. And I find it interesting that previously so many people were blaming Joe Biden for grocery prices, and they said, oh, Kamala Harris isn't going to do anything about grocery prices. And now we have the soon-to-be President Trump who is saying, now he is saying it's very hard to do anything about grocery prices. Once they're up, it's hard to do anything about that. And that is true. And why is it true? It's true because prices are going up because shareholders demand it. And there is going to be very little that government can do at this point in the way of lowering grocery prices that won't have some fascistic or communist bent to it, or at least socialist bent to it. There is only so far that the quality and quantity of your food can deteriorate and that the prices can continue to go up, that you as a purchaser of non-essential food items will continue to play this game. If you are looking for something that is high quality in chocolate, I really encourage you to stick with Hershey's if you are in the United States. Hershey's, like all companies, I mean, there has been some degradation of quality, but they are holding the line a lot better than a lot of other chocolate and cocoa powder manufacturers. I would say also try out Ghirardelli or Guittard if you can buy it online or at a specialty chocolate shop for your baked goods. Don't purchase Nestle. Absolute worst shit quality chocolate. Definitely don't use Nestle baking chips in your baked goods. I recommend that you do not purchase store brand chocolates because that's usually Nestle. It's usually the lowest quality, just white labeled for the grocery store. And also, let's just cut down the non-essential foods that we eat. We can make some of our own breads at home, and we can avoid all these chemicals and preservatives. We can eat more fruits and vegetables. We can eat meats, and then non-essential things like chocolates, let's keep those more as occasional things. I don't know about you, but I would rather have a few small bites of something that's really high quality, maybe once a month, than to have all that I can eat of Mondelez deteriorating quality chocolate.